Right, so this is day 2 of Sacrosanct. I didn't actually film much yesterday because I didn't. And I've been wandering around, meeting up with a friend. But today, the bands are just about to start. I don't actually know any of the bands that are on today, but I'll film bits of them and we'll see what they're like. Yesterday was glorious. We saw Siberia and The Last Cry, who are always great. If you've never seen The Last Cry, look them up, find when they're coming to your town, because they are so good live. And I'm getting very enthusiastic and flailing, and then I'm going to have a cigarette and go watch bands and drink and do all that thing. So I will see you soon. Hello fiends, I just wanted to do a bit of a supplemental bit because, you know, I filmed the bit at Sacrosanct, well, in the car park outside Sacrosanct. I filmed a few little clips of the bands, but obviously they're not, my clips will never do justice, so I just wanted to do a quick rundown of all the bands I saw that weekend. I apologise if I'm a little bit low energy now, I'm so tired. But yeah, Sacrosanct, if you didn't know, is an annual festival held in the Face Bar in Reading, which is really convenient for me because it's not very far from where I live. And it is primarily a goth rock and sort of post-punk festival, so it's my jam. It is run by Dave Drum of Vendemian fame. If you don't know, Vendemian were one of the sort of quintessential British sort of early 90s goth bands. They're a fun band to see live if you ever get the chance. But because Vendemian has this reputation over on the continent and, you know, in the wider goth scene, it means that Dave is able to get some really, really great bands over from overseas. So, although there were a couple of UK bands, obviously The Last Cry are based in the UK, the majority of the bands for Sacrosanct this year were from Europe. One American band, I believe, a couple of UK bands, and all the rest of them were European, many of whom had never been to the UK before, which is always really exciting. And Sacrosanct is such fun because they're I've only ever seen one bad band there, and that was Nosferatu. All of the other bands I've seen have been really solid goth bands, and so Sacrosanct is a great festival to go to if you want to find new trad goth bands. You hear loads of people in the wider scene going on about, oh, you know, I like trad, but there's never any new stuff there. There is loads of new stuff, you just have to know where to look. And one of the places to look, Sacrosanct. One of the other things I love about Sacrosanct is there's a really nice atmosphere there. The Face Bar, although it's kind of a sweaty venue, it's always hot in there. But it's really just kind of a friendly atmosphere, and because a lot of the bands are coming from overseas, you'll get them sort of hanging around and just, you know, you'll see them in the crowd in the audience, and then you'll see them later on performing, and then you'll be able to you know, see them in the audience again and go, oh, good set, enjoyed that, you know, which is really nice. It kind of, you don't have this sort of elitist kind of, oh, well, that the band's over in their room and then all the happy audience people are over there. We're all in it together, we're all having fun, we're all listening to each other and going, ooh. And so yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about the band because my clips will not do justice to any of them. Obviously, as I said earlier on, do check out The Last Cry if you don't know them. They are fabulous, they are so good. They're great on record, but they're even better live. Andy is such a talented singer, and just has such a stage presence, and the emotions that pour out of that man is just, oh, glorious. Under the Skin are a Polish band. They were really, really good. Unfortunately, they didn't have any CDs left by the time their set had finished. They'd only bought 10 with them, bless them. So I'm going to have to look them up online, but they were really sort of old school, sort of, they have a real sort of second wave goth feel to them. I really enjoyed their set. They were probably one of the better bands of the weekend, which is just, you know, phenomenal for like a tiny Polish band that I'd never heard of. Yeah, I really enjoyed them. Next up was, sorry, I'm squinting a little bit at the thing to try and read. Days at Midnight, who are an Italian band from Rome. They were really good. I really enjoyed them as well. They had a very sort of slightly sistersy, slightly mission-y, slightly Nephilim-y type of thing going on. Very sort of doomy vocals, very expressive. Enjoy them a lot. Plus, they've probably had the gothest merchandise I've ever seen. They had logo branded candles, which is adorable. That's like the gothest merch. And they were really fun. I really, really enjoyed them. Highly recommend looking them up. Up was I Am the Shadow, who are Portuguese. They were a lot more sort of synthy. There was a little bit of a sort of darker Pet Shop Boys-y, Covenant-y type of stuff to them, and yeah, they were pretty good, but not as good as the other bands, and I felt like they probably would have, I probably would have liked them more if they'd been earlier in the night. Having them slap bang in the middle with, you know, bands that were a lot more up-tempo and aggressive and exciting was probably not the best choice, but they still weren't bad, and there was no point where I was like, I'm just going to go and get a drink or something. You know, I did stay through the whole set, and I just felt like they didn't quite have the same sort of punch as a lot of the other bands, which is a shame. After them was Scream Silence, who were probably the find of the festival. They're a German band, and they were so good. They had a very, very short set because it sounded like they had a lot of trouble with their flights on the way over, and it was all a bit of a palaver. But they were so good, so much energy, and the singer has the most incredible voice. There was one particular song, I don't remember the name of it, unfortunately. I might have a look if I can find it. I'll put it on the screen for you. But he kept hitting high notes, and every single time I was just kind of going, ooh, that's a good sound. That's a really good sound. Plus they had a violin player, and I have a real soft spot in my heart for bands with violins. They were really sort of up-tempo and fun and just joyous. I had such fun dancing to their set. I wish they played more. I wish I could have afforded more of their merchandise, but they were really good. And then the last band were The Rope, who are an American band. Unfortunately, they had no merchandise at all, which is a real shame, as they were a lot of the other bands from the weekend were a lot more sort of traditionally gothy. These guys were a lot more sort of post-punk, and I suppose technically post-punk is even more traditional than goth, but you know, I'm good at words. They had a lot more of a sort of punky attitude to them. There was a real sort of punch to the vocals, which I liked a lot. And the singer kept doing that thing where he goes wandering off out into the audience, which, you know, it's not sacrosanct if there's not at least somebody wandering around in the audience getting lost and tripping people over with their wires. Only downside was he was quite short, so every time he went into the audience he disappeared. And I have to admit I was sitting down for most of their sets because I was tired. It's very, very hot in the face bar, and I was just really, really tired. My legs were killing me. But I really enjoyed their set. I'm going to have to track some of their stuff down. It was really sort of, yeah, punchy, post-punky. Yeah, everyone in the audience was just like... One of the things I love about going to gigs is watching an audience warm up to a band who they've not heard of but really good. And watching people, you know, starting to sort of you know, you start off, you're sort of standing there, and then you're like, okay, I'm starting to dance, and then by the end of it, you're like, yeah. It was one of those gigs. I mean, 90% of the bands this weekend was just that sort of experience, which is always fun. And yeah, I think that's all I really have to say. Yeah, that was Sacrosanct 2017. Already looking forward to next year. I have no idea who Dave is gonna magic up this time. I mean, it's not just Dave that runs it, there are other people. I tend to lay the blame on Dave. Because I think it is partly his sort of reputation that is getting all these great bands. I mean, in previous years we've had you know, bands like Children on Stun, The Last Dance over from America, Beauty of Jemina, who are one of my favourites, over from Switzerland. You know, they're sort of, they're not exactly small names within the scene. I mean, outside of the scene, people probably haven't heard of them, but you know, you get a really good calibre of bands, and I'm always excited when I get to find new goth bands that are good, and there are so many. And Dave seems to manage to get almost all of them. So just want to finish off by saying a big thank you to all of my friends that I saw at Sacrosanct, who some of them I didn't get the chance to say goodbye to, so hello, goodbye. And also a big thank you to Sadie for holding my camera while I filmed that bit in the car park. I will put a link to her channel down in the description. She's fabulous, you should check her out. And I'm going to stop burbling and have something to eat and put my glasses back on because I haven't put my contact lenses in and I'm completely blind.